Hi everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Amy from Neurotic Mom Bakes, and today's tutorial is so much fun. I'm making hot cocoa bombs and they are trending big time right now. They're all the rage. They're actually really simple to make and really fun to make. And then just even more fun to pour the milk over and see it like open up into the hot chocolate. It's so fun. My 7-year-old was dying over this one. Okay, so I'm gonna show you 2 different flavors today, but the possibilities are endless. There are a million different flavors of cocoa. You can add marshmallows, you can add candy canes, you could add sprinkles. There's just lots you could add. All right, so I'm going to start with, these are Ghirardelli dark chocolate melting wafers. So it's a high quality chocolate, but will also set. And then in here, I just have my bright white candy melts. And I'm going to melt these down. And while they're melting down, I have these silicone molds. I found these on Amazon, and I like the silicone because they are so much easier to get the chocolate out. Those hard molds, you have to turn them upside down, they crack a lot. I just prefer these. These are really easy. They're not that expensive. You could find them at a really high-end baking or craft store. I found mine on Amazon and I think they were like $13 for both of these. So if you have Prime, you could get them here in 2 days and start your cocoa bomb making. So much fun. All right, I have melted my chocolate and I'm ready to pour this in the molds. I'm gonna do dark chocolate here and I'm going to do white chocolate here. So I'm gonna pour a pretty generous amount in, tablespoon or 2. And then I'm gonna get my pastry brush, or a paintbrush would work too. And I'm just gonna brush it up all the way to the top. And it's okay if you go over the top, that's not a big deal. You just wanna make sure the entire mold is covered. It doesn't need to look pretty on the inside. You're not gonna see that. You'll just see that nice smooth outside, but you just wanna make sure it gets up there. And now I'm going to repeat that with the white. Okay, I have a lot left over here, but you will see why. We actually have to do this twice. I learned this the hard way. I just did 1 layer and then I went to take it out and they were just so thin and fragile that a lot of them broke. You can kind of see on the white, it's more evident that you can kind of see through the chocolate to the mold, so we want a thicker coating. You could even do it 3 times just to be extra, extra safe. So after I get this all painted on, I'm going to put this in the fridge or the freezer and get it set. Only take about 5 minutes. Okay, so now we're going to go into the freezer. It's easiest to put your silicone molds on a baking sheet. They're hard to carry individually because they're not super stable. Okay, I've got my first coat set and I'm just going to repeat the process. And back in the freezer or fridge. All right, now I have my chocolate all set and we're ready to put this together. The first thing I'm going to do is back here on my burner, I have like a flat skillet. It can be any size. It doesn't have to be, whoops, like this. And I'm just going to start heating that up. Just the skillet. Just on medium. And I'm going to have a hot pad out to place it on after. If you're doing this with kids, maybe the parent does this part and the kids can fill it. So just be really careful because it is hot. All right, my chocolate is set and I'm going to begin assembling these. The first thing I'm going to do is I have this skillet or hot plate, just something that needs to be warm that you can melt the chocolate on just a bit. And I have it on medium heat, just heating up while I assemble these. The first thing you need to do though is get them out of the molds, and this is the fun part. See that? Don't worry about these little pieces on the edge because when you go to melt them, you can break off the bigger parts. they'll melt, and you'll see how it seals together. So we're gonna pop these out. This is a part you could have your kids do. Just be really careful with that hot plate. Maybe they could assemble and then you could. Okay. All right, so I'm going to fill half of them. So I'm going to fill 3 of the dark and 3 of the light. And today for my flavors, I'm doing a white chocolate peppermint, and this one's just going to be a nice milk chocolate with some marshmallows. Actually, they're both gonna have marshmallows, but okay, it's gonna be hot at first and it'll gradually cool. So in the beginning, you only need to stick the chocolate on there for just a second. All right, once I have these out, I forgot an important step. I have one assembled here, but I need to smooth these edges down. So I'm just gonna kind of hold this on there we go. And you can see how it just smooths it right down, gets those extra pieces off. Sometimes I'll kind of turn it, just get the big ones off. That's just gonna help it seal so much better. I'm gonna rinse this off and do the white. See, I already had one break. You just make one extra just in case. That one's a maybe. All right, so I'm gonna fill half of these with the cocoa powder, and I'm doing like 2.5 tablespoons, or heaping teaspoons, I guess. And then this white chocolate, I'm gonna put some candy cane pieces. And just a few marshmallows. And let's try putting these 2 together. These white ones. I'm gonna melt this down. Together. You get clean hands. You just kind of run it along the edge. And then let it set. Do this one. Just do the same thing. Just press it together. And while the chocolate's cooling, just let it set. And I'm gonna heat this up a little bit more and wipe off the white chocolate, and we'll do the dark chocolate. It only just takes a second. While that's heating up, I'm gonna fill these with milk chocolate cocoa and marshmallows. Nicely. And last one. Yay! There we go. Now, I'm just gonna let them set a few more minutes, or I'll put them in my fridge for a minute or 2 before we pour the hot milk on. Okay, this is the best part. We are ready for the magic to happen. I'm just gonna carefully place a chocolate bomb down in the mug, and then I have some very hot milk. So be careful doing this. You can heat it on the stove. Just don't scald it, keep stirring it, or I heated mine in the microwave for about 3 minutes. It's pretty hot, but here we go. And it's breaking open. Ah, there we go. And you're just gonna give it a good stir, get all that melted chocolate and chocolate powder. Okay, now it's time for one of these white chocolate bombs. Place it in the cup. Carefully pour the milk over. And at the last second, it will open up. Ooh, I kind of overfilled that one a little, but that's okay. All right, this one's still pretty hot, so I'm gonna let the candy canes continue to dissolve and let it cool off a bit. I'm gonna give this one a try. And it's perfect, and it's delicious. Okay, so there you go, my friends. There's our cocoa bombs. I hope you'll give it a try. And if you would like to see more tutorial and content like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel.